The Senate map for 2024 presents a challenging landscape for Democrats. Out of the 34 seats up for election, 23 are currently held by Democrats and only 11 by Republicans. Many of these Democratic seats are in highly competitive states, making the path to retaining their majority difficult. Let's take a look at the states up for grabs and the latest polling data to see how the races are shaping up. Let's kick things off by filling out the safe seats for both parties. These are races where the chance of an upset is basically zero, or greater than 95% for either side. For Democrats, that means we're locking in states like Washington, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, and Virginia. Now, many of these states are reliably blue, and in most cases, Kamala Harris is expected to win the presidential vote by at least 10 points or more. But it's worth mentioning two key states that might get closer than the rest: Minnesota and Virginia. In Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar has been an electoral powerhouse, winning her 2018 race with 60% of the vote. Even though Harris is currently only ahead by 5 points in the presidential polls, Klobuchar's deep local popularity gives Democrats a strong hold here. Same thing in Virginia. Senator Tim Kaine is up for re-election. He won his last race by 16 points and is currently leading every poll by double digits. So while both Minnesota and Virginia could be tighter than usual, we're still counting them as safe blue. Now let's flip over to the Republican safe states. On their side, we've got North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, Nebraska, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, West Virginia, and Indiana. These are rock-solid Trump states with no real signs of competitive races. In fact, West Virginia is notable because it's one of the only guaranteed flips on the map. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin is retiring, and GOP Governor Jim Justice is expected to win this seat in a landslide, with West Virginia being a Trump plus 40 state in the last election. With those safe states in place, let's take a look at where the map stands. As of now, the GOP holds 48 Senate seats compared to the Democrats' 42. That means Republicans only need 2 more seats to secure a majority if Donald Trump wins the presidency. If Kamala Harris wins, they'll need 3. So, what's happening in the remaining battleground states? Let's take a closer look, starting in the east and working our way westward. Before we dive into our key battleground states, take a moment to let us know in the comments which party you're backing, Republicans or Democrats. We're excited to see which side our viewers are supporting more. First up, we have Maryland. Now, Maryland hasn't elected a Republican senator in over 40 years, and Biden carried the state by 33 points in 2020. But the race here is heating up because former Republican Governor Larry Hogan is running for Senate. Hogan is a popular figure in Maryland, with an approval rating that reached as high as 80%. He's up against Democratic nominee Angela Alsobrooks, and while Alsobrooks is leading the latest poll by 5 points, Hogan's strong reputation could make this race surprisingly competitive. For now, though, we're placing Maryland in the lean Democratic column. Next, let's move to Pennsylvania, a crucial swing state at both the Senate and presidential levels. Democratic incumbent Bob Casey Jr. is seeking re-election, and he's built a strong track record over the years. Casey has never lost a statewide election, and the latest polls show him with a 7-point lead over Republican Dave McCormick. Pennsylvania is still looking like it's leaning blue, so we'll mark it as likely Democratic on our map for now. Now let's turn to Ohio, where Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown is facing a tough challenge in what's become a solidly Republican-leaning state. Brown is a well-known figure who managed to win re-election in 2018, even as Ohio was trending red. But this year, he's up against Republican Bernie Moreno, and with Donald Trump on the ballot, Ohio could see an even stronger GOP turnout. The most recent poll from Emerson College has Brown ahead by just 2 points. This race is a toss-up, but for now, Ohio tilts Democratic based on the latest data. Heading up to the Midwest, we've got another key race in Michigan, where Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow is retiring. This opens up the seat for a competitive battle between Democratic Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin and Republican Mike Rogers. Both candidates are strong, but Slotkin has the edge right now, leading by 7 points in the latest CBS News poll. Michigan is part of the critical Rust Belt that could decide the election, and for now, we're putting it in the likely Democratic category. Let's head over to Wisconsin, another battleground state. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is running for re-election, and like other Democrats in tight races, she's leading the polls. Baldwin is ahead of Republican Eric Hovde by 8 points, according to CBS News, and she's expected to run a few points ahead of Harris in the state. So, Wisconsin goes into the likely Democratic column as well. Alright, now let's head south to Florida, where Republican Senator Rick Scott is seeking a second term. Florida has shifted heavily to the right in recent years, but Scott's race could still be closer than expected. He's currently up by just 1 point over his Democratic challenger Debbie McCarcel-Powell, according to the latest Emerson College poll. Still, we expect Scott to win by a larger margin, and will place Florida as tilt Republican on the map for now. Next, we have Texas, where Senator Ted Cruz is running for re-election. Cruz's last race was surprisingly close in 2018, but this year, he's facing Democratic Congressman Colin Allred, and it's expected to be a competitive contest. The most recent poll has Cruz up by 4 points, and will mark Texas as lean Republican for now. Now, let's head to Arizona, one of the most closely watched states in this election. Independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema isn't seeking re-election, so it's a showdown between Democrat Ruben Gallego and Republican Kari Lake. The latest poll from Trafalgar shows Gallego ahead by 4 points, and he's been consistently outperforming the Democratic presidential ticket. Arizona leans Democratic on our map. We also have Nevada, where Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen is running for re-election. Rosen leads her Republican challenger Sam Brown by 8 points, according to Trafalgar, and like other Democratic incumbents, she's running ahead of Harris in the state. Nevada is a likely Democratic hold for now. Finally, we come to Montana, where Democratic Senator John Tester is up against Republican Tim Sheehy. Montana is a deep red state, and Tester's ability to win here in the past has been remarkable, but this year looks more challenging. The latest poll shows Sheehy leading by 6 points, and Montana leans Republican as a result. And there you have it, our latest projection for the 2024 U.S. Senate map. With Republicans now projected to win 51 seats and flip the majority, Democrats are facing an uphill battle to hold on to control. As always, these races are subject to change as new polls come in, but this gives us a good look at where things stand right now. Be sure to let me know what you think about the 2024 map in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest election news, and as always, thanks for watching.